Here they come. Anton Bulaev, world number 14, is 24 years old, and he's going up against the world number 1, Mike Schloesser, the 27-year-old Dutch archer, for bronze here in Paris.
Sur la cible numéro 2, représentant la Russie, champion d'Europe 2018, Anton Bulaev. La juge de ligne pour cette rencontre, Christina Redmeyer.
Nikki, after the semi-finals that we saw, heartbreaking defeat for Schloesser, coming through against his teammate, his good mate, the American Chris Schaff in a 148 shoot-off, double 10, impressive shooting. Bulaev finding himself here having shot a 138 in his semi-final. This has got Schloesser bronze written all over it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Not much more to say. Clearly, problems from Bulaev in his semi-final up against Mr. Perfect. He was so close to a perfect score. What's he going to shoot with his first arrow? Now that sets things up.
I think if I was Bulaev right now, I'd want to go and shoot on a blank boss somewhere on my own and not be stood in front of all these cameras.
Well, might have clipped the line. It's marked as a 9 on our scoreboard. There's the measure, though, the asterisk. Denotes that the target judge will go down and measure that first arrow from Bulaev. His sighter is followed up by another 10 from Mr. Perfect. Well, come to expect it. Perfect score for Mike Schloesser. And I'm going to call that a perfect score for Anton Bulaev. Nikki, we're going for a measure here for that first arrow. Look, you said you'd rather go off and shoot somewhere else and not have all the cameras pointing at you, but in some respects, it's for Schloesser to lose here. I mean, no one's going to fancy Bulaev for the win here, so he can just relax.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the pressure is off him, but you know, when you're in that mental state, I guess, which he left the semi-final in, making big errors and punching, and you know, not having fun. It's just mentally not somewhere you want to be. You want to come out and shoot good shots. You want to come out and enjoy it, and it's hard when you're in that mental place, I think. So, I mean, he's done a good job, hasn't he? First end, come out here and shot potentially a 30. So, you know, hats off to him. He's come back strong.
Yeah, but this is why it's so important having an archery expert in the commentary box. So you bring out that element of this thing. The process. These guys go and train and they shoot 10s 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 in training. They can do it technically. The real challenge is doing it under high pressure. And that's when the mistakes come out. There's no pressure seemingly for Mike Schloesser here. See that unusual, unorthodox setup for Bulaev, who did get his 9 marked up to a 10 in the first end. These are now X's. These are dialed into the ring inside the 10 ring. Another close one. Looks so relaxed and so composed. A little bit more focus with Bulaev. Well, the result is the same. Another perfect score. I think we might have that second arrow measured, but I think that is going to be 60 apiece. We get to see some of the replays in between as the arrows are being retrieved here, but I often look at Schloesser when he's shooting and he's at full draw, and I'm wondering what's going through his head, because it kind of looks like, should I have for dinner? Should I have the tuna salad, or am I going to have the chicken Kiev? You know, he really doesn't look like there's any pressure.
But I think that's, you mentioned it in the last end, you know, these guys at 99 out of 100 times in practice can shoot a 10. What's the difference under pressure? And I think the difference is having a stable, consistent mental routine. So Schloesser is probably going through the same process every time in his head, filling his conscious mind with certain thoughts, so that, you know, when you go down the club and you shoot arrows and it's all going well and you think about what you're going to have for dinner tonight, it all goes really well. But when you're under pressure, those thoughts come in, and unless you practice with a mental program, filling that conscious mind and knowing what to do when the pressure comes, this is when you have the problems.
Yeah, mindfulness has become a key part of the psychological training for athletes across all sports. All square, end number 3. And the group for Schloesser is outstanding. I mean, you can't really come up with enough superlatives. Bulaev's is good as well. It's not, you know, it's not that his is bad. It's very good. It's just that Schlosser's is better.
Yeah, that wasn't a great shot. A little bit snatchy, I think. Didn't like it, but still a 10.
And that's potentially the one arrow that makes the difference in the match. Checking one of the knocks there. Schloesser, here's the final arrow. He's just shot a 9. Good response with a 29. That is the difference between the two. 89 plays 90. Okay, I've been dying to ask this question since you said he wasn't happy with that shot. What are you looking at to see that he's not happy with it when it flies into, you know, less than a centimetre away from the spider?
Well, a lot of it is his reaction. You can just tell from his reaction. It wasn't, and it was just like the movement he had afterwards as well. Like, it wasn't a smooth kind of follow through. That's another shot. Yeah, head nod. It was a kind of difference in the follow through. It just wasn't as kind of, watch that. That was a good one. That was kind of clean and through. Don't know if we'll get the replay on the other one that we saw, a little bit difference in, but I think that might have been it. Just maybe a little bit different balance of the shot, something, you know, he wasn't quite happy with it, and he has been drilling the X, and that was the first sort of bigger 10 he had. You know, this is the level of this guy.
Yeah, no, this is the thing that, and for those of you that don't know, you're listening to a real expert, former world #1, competed internationally both in compound and recurve, Nicky Hunt. You know what you're talking about, Nicky, and now you're coaching as well as having the added benefit of doing a bit of physio when you've got some spare time. And that means that Nicky knows all about the different structures, not only of the hit as a technical coach, but also as someone who understands the physiology. So we've seen this time and time again from Mike Schloesser. 10, 10, 10, all the way through. On for a perfect score with the last arrow, and drops it into a 9.
Yeah, we did. We definitely saw it. I think it was Guatemala. I remember. Can he shoot Mr. Perfect?
At the moment, it's all looking very good indeed for a perfect score. And the bronze medal, of course. You could tell.
Yep, that little movement. So he got to the point where he was going to aim, his brain said shoot now, and he went ooh, and flinched, and then he did it again. And that's why it was a 9.
pressure off now a little bit, which sometimes is a bit of a distraction. Now, you know what's going through Mike Schlosser's mind here. He wants a perfect score every time he shoots, but especially when the cameras are pointing at him.
Yeah, I mean, he won't be thinking about that. He shouldn't be thinking about that, at least. Like, it's interesting that the other ones have been in the gold medal matches. Is the bronze a little bit less pressure? I don't know. From his perspective, I don't know whether he would have found this a little bit of a, I hate to say it, sort of a little bit of an easier match. He knows Chris Schaff inside out. He knows how good he is, but maybe he's coming to here a bit more relaxed about it. And can he hold it together? Can he shoot a perfect in a final scenario? He does it all the time through the rounds, through the eliminations. But like you say, he normally drops one in the last. So he needs to show people he can do that.
Yep, he does. I mean, the win is the win. It doesn't matter what the score is. And you see, the thing is now you've got me thinking semi like an archer, that if he does shoot a perfect score like Schloesser, he's still not going to be happy because that one arrow that he didn't release properly. All perfectionists. Anton Bulaev shooting first in the 5th end of the bronze medal match, trailing by 2. Well, I think this one, it's fair to say, has got away from Bulaev. So focus now is on Schloesser. Into the 10, but that's, well, by his standards, a wide 10.
And a left one as well.
A left one.
Crazy amount out.
But it's 10. Still on for 150. Bulaev back into the centre. Oh, hello. A little bit of a longer hold, but he's in the X, and maybe that's an indication of why he had something.
He had a spider on the peak of his hat.
Oh, there you go. So this for a 147, which is an excellent score, and he gets just that. So a 147 for Bulaev, 4th place for him, because he's sure that Schloesser is going to get more than an 8 here. He's done it! He's got the 150. A perfect score in a medal match is exactly what every archer wants. Mikey Schloesser is the bronze medalist here in Paris. What a performance in the semi-final, losing in a shoot-off to Chris Schaff, but what a performance in the bronze medal playoff. A 150 maximum score to get the medal here in Paris. And there is confirmation. Mikey Schloesser is the compound men's bronze medal winner here in Paris. Nikki, he's great. I just don't even know. There's no question to ask here because he is just a stunning archer.
He really is. He's arguably probably the best men's compound archer there ever was, and I can't see anything stopping him over the next few years. Just absolutely incredible in qualification, unbeaten this year.